In this week's episode of Biking Across France, I find my way to Avignon and beyond. I'll have a special guest star, I'll listen to the bells of Carcassonne, and I'll put my history degree to good use. Last week I was trying to find my host who's located behind this church next to a solar field. I ended up choosing the house above the hill for the pure reason that if I was wrong, then I could coast all the way with my disappointment back down to the other. I wasn't wrong, however, and I found Martin in his beautiful home. Martin has spent the last few years crafting the house and building it all by hand. It's really a wonder to walk into a house after a long day's ride, and it's even more exciting when the house shows the personality of the people who live within the house. Enjoying one of his home-brewed beers, there's a pattern here, can you sense it? I marveled at the fact that he had built a cargo net for his kids into the second floor. This was an astounding spot and very comfortable to lay on later in the night. This is one of the biggest problems that I encounter when traveling is when I connect with a good host like Martin, I find it very hard to leave the next day. However, I didn't come to stay.
I'm extremely frustrated today. The road has run out and I'm on a very wet dirt. So about every 5 kilometers I have to take and break a stick and clean out massive clods of dirt between where the fender is on my bike and where the tire is. And it's to the point when it stops me and impedes forward direction, so much so that in 3 hours all I've done is gone 40 kilometers, which is obscene. That's what I would do in 2 hours on pavement. And you can see there's just the massive amounts of dirt coming off from the bike. I think the part that I'm annoyed about the most is it feels like I'm doing absolutely nothing and going nowhere. The canal is quite nice though. It's very peaceful. It's just a really deflating feeling of zero progress. I'm about 45 minutes away from my next host, and last night my host was able to make me these. And these are a French pastry, and France is a country known for its culinary arts. These are no different. They've been able to keep me along this last segment of the ride. I'm going to take the recipe, I'm going to send it over to my sister, who is quite the baker, and she's going to see what she can do with it. And the recipe is also linked in the description down below.
Bonjour! My name is Paige, and I'm here to make the recipe that my brother sent over. True cricket fashion, step 1, we're going to have a glass of wine. It's a pretty simple recipe. All we need is butter, salt, vanilla, a cute little packet, yeast, eggs, flour, and powdered sugar. Alright, so all the ingredients are scaled out, and so now are we gonna start kneading the dough.
Just like that.
Now that we have the dough fully kneaded and ready to go, we are just going to put it in a bowl, cover it with a and let it rest for 30 minutes. Our dough is now fully rested, so we are going to roll it out and cut it into diamond shapes. The dough is all cut now into our diamond shapes, so they're ready to fry into the oil, which will be about 2 to 3 minutes. Now that they are finished frying, we will finish them in the powdered sugar.
Not very sweet. Pretty dry. They're okay.
They taste better with chocolate.
As most things do. Fueled with my treats, I made it across the drawbridge into the town of Carcassonne. After exploring the city a moment, I went to the hostel where my host worked in order to meet up with him and get my spot for the night. After setting down my bike, Lauren lent me a room in the hostel and I went off to explore the town. It really was an awesome town to be wandering around. I regretted that I only planned to stay for one night, but with that, I'm off to make the most of that one night.
I'm inside a 12th century castle. It's absolutely amazing everywhere that I look. And I just have this continually reoccurring thought. And it's that I didn't eat nearly enough lunch. I'm so hungry. I could eat like a medieval banquet. I could eat 2 medieval banquets. I could totally be a king. That'd be just a boss. I'm here walking in between the 2 battlements, the inside wall and the outside wall of Carcassonne. And Carcassonne is a town that gets its name after a Dame Carac. And the allegory, the legend has it, that when the troops were marching off to go fight the first round of the Crusaders, Dame Carac sounded all of the bells that were inside of the town's abbey, and we get the translation Caracas sound, Carcassonne, from the sound of the bells. Carcassonne is currently split into 2 cities, 2 sister towns, and the Black Prince of Wales had entered Carcassonne in the 13th century and was able to take this fortress. He burned down all of the interior part of the fortress, destroying it completely, and he issued an edict that the town would be allowed to rebuild 7 years later and on the opposite side of the river. After the town did rebuild, these 2 communities were often at odds with each other and got into a bloody rivalries until they realized it's just better to become friends. They kind of blended into one community. Churches were built in each sector representing each other's faiths, and they are friends.
Leaving Carcassonne, I was sidelined for a bike race to go by. I realized that in the same day, the bike racers and I go the same distance. They do it in about 2 hours and I do it in about 6. So I guess that just goes to show which one of us has greater stamina. Also, they're not carrying their own gear. I would love to have a car carry extra bikes in my gear. Getting back on the road again, it was time to make my way to the papal city of Avignon. There were 7 different popes that relocated from Rome into this city and built a marvelous palace.
Although the popes built walls to fortify the city of Avignon, it was not as much fortification as the palace would provide. This Gothic building has walls that are 17 to 18 feet thick. It was built in 1335 to 1364 on natural rock, rendering it all but impregnable to attack.
For more up-to-date information and where I'm at, check out www.cricketstales.com as well as on Facebook. Once again, special thanks this week to Patrick R. Patterson and Josh